Alright, we should be going. Um, so, for my assignment today, I'm going to be working on does including students to schedule lecture watching in online classes improve their academic performance. So, for starters, I just want to say thank you for the extension, and I hope this assignment finds you doing well. So, this whole assignment, I found, like, straight off the bat, off of looking for some sort of article about time management in online classes, because it's definitely really relevant to the situation that's currently going on right now with COVID. So, with all these online classes that I never wanted to do and now I have to do, I thought that this might be something educational for not only me but people that are around my demographic, like college students around my age. And even though this is like my third year going into college, online classes is still like a whole new thing and it's a whole new learning experience. But besides that, we're just going to get right into it. So, for starters, we have the exploring the research. So, the questions that they are asking was how well can students manage their time through different academic learnings? So, like I said, they're trying to figure out if there's a difference with someone studying through online rather than going in person. Because, like I said, it's when I was talking that one time in class, the only time, it's very inversive. Like when you're in there in person, it really makes a difference. So, and the study is in 2018, so it's pretty relevant, and it could work for what's going on right now. Another question that they're trying to answer is does online course scheduling affect us in an unprofessional academic manner? So that's more about time management. So the first one is about learning how to adjust to a different type of learning, and the second one is about time management. It's all about making a schedule, because when you have the chance to schedule your classes, you can at least have some sort of calendar that you can utilize and figure out, I'm going to do this and this today, and the next day I'm going to do this and this. Normally it would be a lot easier if you're in person and you can go to the library where it's a whole different environment where suddenly you're just way more focused on your homework compared to being at home and just being able to play video games right now if I really wanted to. I didn't have to record this. I could have played my video games, but you have to set yourself a schedule. So for the methods, we had the demographics here, so it's pretty even out with the age and the genders, and a majority of it was sophomores into college and Asian Americans, but the ethnicity didn't really have much of an impact, I feel, because I mean, you can't really judge someone's performance based off of ethnicity. So there was two groups. There was the controlled and then the treatment group. So with the control group, they didn't get to schedule the classes how they wanted. So with treatment, it's just as if you're scheduling your normal um, college class. You get to pick what you want to do. But for the control, they didn't do anything with that. They just asked them how they manage their time and how would they work with their online classes. Because most classes have recorded lectures, so they would ask them, when would you watch this? Would you watch it once it came out? Would you watch it later on in the day? Would you watch it a bit late, or would you be on time with it? And a lot of it was self-evaluation. They had procrastination stuff that they would fill out to. It's like a self-evaluation. You just say, "Oh, I feel like I procrastinate a lot. Oh, I feel like my time management is bad," and to ensure that like there was no biased answers that they were given, because anyone can put, "Oh, I'm not a good procrastinator." They actually had like a subgroup that would like watch over them to make sure, because they would watch their perception rather than and see their time management skills compared to what they actually put. It's they try and calculate it by looking at how much work they got done on in what set amount of time. So again, your answer could be whatever, but they still watched uh, the self quizzes, because again, anyone can lie about it. So that's it for the methods. It's basically all they were doing was giving the students quizzes, and then they would evaluate their grades, their time management, when they would get the stuff done, how long it would take for them to get it done. But the most important parts when it comes to the results is the quiz scores and the time management scores, because the whole reason we're doing all this is to figure out if there's a change in the grade or if there's a change in like the time management. Because I mean, to be honest, it's time management has been a lot more hard for me because I'm not used to doing all this. So like I feel like my time management is worse, but maybe it's not. Because to be honest, I've been on my work a lot, but I usually get down on myself because with this new learning curve, anything can happen. I feel like that I can mess up so easily and just completely forget about an assignment. So for the quiz score changes, between the control group and the treatment group, the group that got to pick the classes and the other group that didn't, there's like barely a difference. It's a 0.341 standard deviation, so it's not that much of a difference. You really can't see a difference between the quiz scores because they're on top of it. They're on top of their work, and same with the time management scores. That's a little bit. That's a lot different. But at the same time, the scores were still high because usually what was happening was with the treatment group who got to choose their stuff, they were getting like way up high in the scores, but even with the control group, they were getting around like 90s still. So it's not really that much of a difference. So you can see that from the quiz score changes and the time management scores, there was no difference. And it's almost like a mind game, because when you're doing self-evaluation, you really tend to put yourself down. At least I do. I always tell myself that oh, I'm more of like a CB kind of guy, and that's because I'm putting that in my head. But when you're forced to adapt to this new sort of learning curve, such as online classes, you force yourself to adapt. You try and figure it out, because if you just give up, it's just gonna make you feel worse. So overall, the results really weren't that different. But that raises the question, what? Like, so what? So there's not much of a difference. What is that contributed? I put 5 relations, but I meant to put 3 relations. That is my bad. So I think there's 3 important aspects about this: is the relatability, the educational part, and the beneficial part. So relatability wise, it's like I said, it's the situation that's going on right now. I'm still trying to learn online classes. Everyone in my area is still trying to learn online classes. We don't know how long this could last. I don't even know if this is going into the next semester. I hope not. But if it is, then at least I can say that, I've got some experience behind it. So with the relatability aspect, it's more like you see the students that are self-doubting themselves, just like how I am. I'm self-doubting myself, but I can see clearly in the study that was professionally performed that they did fine. Even with the new learning curve, if you don't have the ability to schedule your classes or not schedule your classes, you're still good. Educational wise, it could be the same thing. Like, it's a new learning curve. It's all kinds of different stuff that I'm learning. With the online classes attendance, when like we're meeting up from 2 o'clock to 3:20, it feels weird. It feels weird because I just prefer to be in person. I'd rather engage with you in person. And while I have this camera and I don't turn it on in class, I just don't feel comfortable. And I'd rather speak to you not through a screen, but face to face. But with this educational factor, it's just all kinds of different stuff. So how is this beneficial? Well, it's you figure it out. You go through these online classes, and after seeing studies like these, you can say, well, maybe I can take a shot at this. It seems intimidating, And when you stick inside your comfort zone, everything's going to be intimidating. Nothing's going to be like my mind blanked out. Nothing's going to be like easy. That's the word. Nothing's going to be easy. It's just it's always gonna be hard if you just not try it. But if you look at an article and you see these kids have a similar demographic as us, you can see, and this their average age is 20 years old. We're all like about halfway through high school, halfway through college. The ethnicity, it doesn't really matter, but you can see that it's students just like us. Like we all say that, oh, I'm not that good of a student. We're all the same. It's honestly all the same, and I will continue to keep self-doubt in myself, but if I try and I at least tell myself that I'm trying and I'm getting good grades like how I am right now, I have all A's right now, I'm gonna say, well, maybe I'm not that kind of student. Maybe I can be like those guys in the studies. That's why I like this study, because it got me thinking, wow, I can get through this just as much as these guys are. And these guys weren't even going through a pandemic. This is 2018. Right now I'm going through a pandemic, so that might add a little bit more of a stress factor when it comes to grades. But overall, I feel like it's just not that big of a deal with COVID and the stress factor. Unless of course someone in your family personally has been affected by it, which thank God I haven't. If someone in the family might be affected by COVID, that can make it a bit worse. But for me, I'm lucky to say that that never happened to me. So I didn't put in the slide, but I just want to discuss, why I found it like interesting. And I feel like it's just interesting because, like I said, it's relatable. you know I enjoyed reading it, seeing other students, in a controlled and treatment group around my age, and it's just very engaging with my kind of audience, and I feel that this could be beneficial to everyone else in our class, and even more, and maybe my friends, maybe some of my past classmates. And yeah, that's pretty much it with my assignment. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a nice day.